Hey y'all.
Hello.
Welcome to An Unscripted Beautiful Life.
We back again.
Hold please, let me get this shared out. If y'all could share it out, we would greatly appreciate it.
Shared out. That was a little voice.
We should have asked them to come on.
Well, we still said we was gonna do that.
Oh,
Have one with the kids. Still
um,
still waiting for them to I guess wanna join us.
I
That
think
would be
we
a
frozen.
that would be a fun one.
Hold on, let me make sure we're on the right Wi-Fi. Okay. Hey y'all. So tonight we are talking about the truth of surrender. Right? What does surrender look like? Why is surrender hard? Or is it hard? Is it easy for you to surrender? Um, really, what does it mean to surrender? We talking today is Dr. King's observance. And everyone's been talking about I have a dream, and sometimes our dreams cause us to have to surrender, right? Because when we have our dreams, we start thinking it's supposed to go one way, but if that's not in alignment with what God wants best for you, then sometimes that means surrender the idea of what you think you wanted.
hmm
So,
That's always the key defining point when it comes to everything. Um, it's one getting that alignment with God, and then stop wanting it to look like we want it to look.
mm-hmm,
Because every time we do that and we do let go and we let God have it, it don't look anything like what we thought.
what we thought it was going to
What
look
we
like,
thought it was gonna
right?
look like. And the thing is it's one of the things he doesn't want us not to do these things because
Not to do what thing.
to kind of veer off.
Okay.
And the only reason why I say that is because if he didn't want us to, we wouldn't have never had the choice of free will. And so he allowed you to stray off, kind of step off for a second, and then, all right, this not going the way I thought it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm gonna get back on track because when things were on track, it wasn't as they would say rocky or bumpy. Um, and then your thoughts in your head aren't aren't negative. Now, I try my hardest to keep everything positive, but sometimes it's really tough. It's really tough, and I I assume that's when me getting out of alignment when it starts to get rocky like that for me.
But I think sometimes we think, okay, if sometimes I think we can start thinking if I had just stuck with my plan, right,
True.
then things would have been easier. That's the misconception I think a lot of people have as well.
hmm
If I had done it this way, right, it would have been easier. But when we surrender and say, okay, God, I'm going to trust you even though I don't know all the steps, right? Because that's the hard part of
Yes.
surrender. Being able to let go of this situation, knowing you don't know what step needs to be taken or what move needs to be made. And because we want to control, right? It's just the instinct of us that wants to control because we want the safety, we want the security
Right.
of knowing, right? But when we surrender, God is like, no, I need you to trust me in this, even if it
You don't
doesn't
know.
make sense
Right.
or you don't know what's next or what it feels like. Hey, beautiful.
And you saying that, just typing in and looking at some of the notes, that's the first thing it says is letting go of the futile need to control the outcome. We can't control the outcome all the time,
But we want to
but we
because we
want
don't
to
want to.
so
We like
bad.
we like I don't know how this is going, God. Like,
But then that's when that faith has to be more extreme
yeah,
because it's letting go of something that we've been trying that we've been doing. Not even gonna say trying, something that we've been doing is controlling our narrative, controlling our outcome to things. I remember sitting down and having dreams like Yeah, this how this gonna go. And guess what?
I don't go nowhere.
It didn't go to plan. It didn't go to plan. It did not go to plan. And then in the dream, it was so real. Like, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, this gonna happen, then that's gonna happen. And then after all this gonna happen, all the everything's gonna open up. And then when it don't go to plan, a lot of times, that's when we quit.
That
That's when we
part.
leave.
Yeah, because it's hard.
Man, I heard somebody say something the other day, babe, and it was so good. I'm trying to put it back in my head. It was like, wow. And as we probably getting right hop on, it's gonna come back to me. But I'm gonna try my best to try to figure this out. Because it goes in the line of what we are talking about right now. And that's why I was saying that things that happen aren't coincidences anymore. It's alignment. And when the alignment is taking place, conversations and things that happen, it don't happen because of coincidence. It's happening because of alignment. So I'm trying. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, babe. I'm gonna get it because it was. I said, oh, that was good. Oh man, it's gonna
I'm
hurt
gonna
my.
need you to stop writing
I,
this stuff
I know.
down
I
when it
know,
comes
babe.
to you.
That's crazy because you said that the other day, and I be thinking like, okay, that's powerful. That's gonna stay up there. It, it doesn't. It
but
don't
but I
always
I
work
think
anymore.
right when we talk about surrender, sometimes I think people think that means to surrender something means we have to give up, right? But that's not the case. We're not saying give up. We're just saying surrender the need to control the situation, because giving up and controlling the situation are totally two different things, right? Giving up is like, nope, I'm not going to pursue this dream. I'm not going to pursue this passion. But surrendering is saying, okay, God, I'm going to trust you
Hmm.
for how this looks, even with it feeling like, right? You can
I
feel
feel
it
it like
in
an
your
unknown.
body. Like everything is just like you feel anxious, you feel nervous, like you just can't name what you're feeling. And it's like, okay, God, I'm feeling all this on the inside. Please help me surrender what it is that I am going through, what it is that I'm feeling, because I can't, like, it's taking your body over. And like when you get to that point, when I get to that point, that's when I'm like, it's I gotta let this go, because when it's consuming your mind and your body,
Yeah,
you like, oh no, this ain't mine.
it's
This ain't mine for me to carry.
yeah.
This
You
is
gotta
I
let that go.
gotta let it go. Hey Rick, hey
And then
everybody.
that's when it starts to build on more and more because you still have that urge to want to control that outcome. And you and as hold on,
We
y'all.
lost volume.
Oh, shucks.
No, we back now. It just went
Give us a
muted for a
thumbs up if
second.
y'all can
If
hear
y'all
us.
can hear, please let us know.
Give us a
I don't
thumbs
know
up.
what just happened.
Something just happened in it, but
I didn't touch
um,
nothing.
no. Dang, I kind of lost the train of thought one for a second.
My bad.
No, it's already one of you. It's technology as it does. Uh, hmm. What you were saying, babe?
I don't know. Don't ask
We
me
about to
to go
rewind it.
back.
We about to rewind the tape, y'all.
I can't replay it. Like this ain't instant replay right there.
No, no, but that's when you go to notes though. Um, as you were saying, it's not you giving up. It's not giving up. Giving up and surrendering are two totally different things. Two totally different things. Because surrendering means now I give all my trust, my faith, everything to you, God, and whatever you got in store for me, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run with it. Because the way I was doing it, it wasn't doing. I wasn't going right. I wasn't doing it right. I was taking 10 steps backwards just to make one move forward. So at that point now, I have to say, it's all yours. It's all
But I
yours.
think sometimes we don't necessarily take steps backward. We just don't move.
Hey,
Right. Because we can get so bogged down on the fact of it's not going the way we want it to go, that's in that instant when it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause. I'm going to give up. I'm going to do whatever it is. And so we don't take steps backwards, right? We just won't move in that season, in that moment, because we don't have the clarity that we think that comes from controlling the situation.
So again, I love that because sometimes it can feel like you taking a step backwards because everybody else moving forward.
Right.
So I feel like you moving backwards, but and that's a great thing that you said that, babe, because are we even taking any steps backwards or are we just standing it still? And it seems like that we're taking steps backwards because we're worrying about the people beside us or the person that's already in front of us.
Hmm.
Most of us don't look behind us to grab nobody, to pull. So I like that. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a great point that we're not taking steps backwards. We're just standing still. And then most of the time we're standing still looking at other people move forward.
That's the thing you have to, that's the challenge, because if you are looking at everybody else around you and wondering why they're
Mm-hmm.
moving forward, or doing this and doing that, but you feel like you're stuck, it's like, no, don't think of it as you being stuck, but think about it. Okay, I'm in this stillness right now because I need clarity, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need to be able to hear what my next step should be. And sometimes surrender, that is just it. Like, I'm going to be still. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not making any moves until I have the peace, right, that transcends all that understanding that I don't have, because I'm like, okay, I see everybody else moving, everybody doing this, everybody doing that, but you're not everybody,
No,
right? You
no.
can't compare yourself to what somebody else is doing, because when you take your eyes off of God and now you're comparing your situation and something else to somebody else, then it's like, oh, now I got to make moves,
Mm-hmm.
right? I got to do what's necessary in order to put myself where everybody else is, because I ain't trying to be left behind.
Yep. Yep. And going back to the notes, fostering inner peace and healing, accepting the present moment and letting go of resistance brings relief, gratitude, and emotional healing.
Mm, that part right there.
So we might get the foster the inner peace, right? But then we never really heal. But then we might get in the
But
healing
do we
piece.
have inner peace without healing?
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna right flip it. I said we might get some healing, but we still ain't even fostering that piece of it.
I'm
So
not sure we actually have inner peace if we
no,
don't have healing. And I don't know if we have healing without inner peace.
that's where they go hand to hand.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to foster inner peace, but then you can't muster up that healing piece, because like this, right? We'll say this. You know what? I'm gonna think of everything positive, right? That's your inner peace. But then you're not letting go of something that's ruffling that inner peace. So then you're not getting the healing with the inner peace.
I can say on one hand, God, I trust you. I'm going to turn this situation over to you. But yet, when I'm sitting in stillness, if I'm still thinking about it,
You
then
ain't
I ain't turned it
you
over.
ain't turned it
I ain't
over.
surrendered
You
it.
ain't fostered that
Yeah.
real inner peace. Because once you foster that inner peace, right? Once you get it, you're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done doing it my way. It's time for me to just let go and let you have it. And I'll ask you this: when do you feel like that healing starts? For me, man, I'm gonna say this, and I just because of some of the stuff that I've been through, and to me, fostering my inner peace is just making everything positive, right? And I have begun healing because of that, and I can say that honestly because I've gotten to the point where I'm not allowing someone else's energy to control me,
Hmm.
someone else's attitude get me out of alignment. Because like I said, I probably said this a few times on here before that if you allow someone to get you out your character, they got more power over you than you have over yourself. So I honestly feel like now I still got work to do because at the end of the day, the work's never done. You're still constantly working, but I can honestly say that I feel that I'm healing when it comes to my positive outlook on things.
I want to Tiffany and Daphne are both commenting about having peace and healing, and I that is a great point, and I definitely agree with you. But I think when I was saying it, I think I was thinking about the perspective of the process of healing. Like, I can't say I want inner peace if I'm not willing to do what's necessary to heal, right? If I'm not being intentional in healing and in resting, then I won't have peace, right? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that because you can have peace while you're healing, right? Because that's the whole thing about give me the peace, the whole what's the scripture I was reading it today? The have peace over understanding, right? And I can have peace as I'm healing, but the key is the healing part, right? Because it's the healing part. That's
Yeah,
when the surrender comes. That's when the God, I'm going to trust you. That's when I'm going to have, when we talk about the faith of the mustard seed, I'm going to have that. Like, I have to do the work internally in order to heal so that I can have the peace. But like I said, if I'm saying, God, I'm going to surrender this, but I'm not willing to really let it go in my healing. That's where I'm coming from,
right.
Tiff.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, everybody will have their mixed opinions on things, and this is what the great thing about that choice of free will and all these things. So if I don't, I this my personal opinion. I feel as though you may have that inner peace, but if you're not completely healed, then at some point your peace can be disturbed
But I don't
because it's you're not fully healed in the whole manner of it.
but I don't know if we are ever totally completely healed from situations. Well, at least listen, again,
Personally, for everybody,
this
right?
this is my personal opinion because I'm still working through the healing, right? But I just realized when I think I'm healed, there's this trigger like God is like, no, no, no. You wasn't there yet. You wasn't ready yet. And so it's understanding like healing is an everyday walk.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
everyday journey. You think, oh, I'm healed in that area, and then all of a sudden here comes that thing. Here comes Boo Boo from last year. There's like, oh, remember when so and so said, or when you did this, or when you did that. You like, man, why is this ruffling my feathers right now? And that's because when we like, but I already did I'm y'all, again, I'm speaking my perspective, right? This is me saying, I thought I was healed in that, God. I thought I gave that to you. I thought I was past that. But I'm understanding, right, that in the process of walking in assignment, walking in alignment, that he like, yeah, you did heal for it in that season, but now you're in another season. And so now there's more layers that I had to peel back, right? Because when we think
Mm-hmm.
about every situation that happens to us, it's like it's layers to it. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, surface level, I might be here. He might have dug a little bit deep and we peeled back the layers some more. And then now, oh, okay, God, I'm healed and I'm getting better. Like, I can forgive. I can be in the same room with so and so or whatever. Then he like, okay, good. Now let me peel back some more. Can you be in the same room with them knowing they just talked about you before you walked in? Like, that's how for me it's like when we think about the healing process, it's a
Always.
continual journey,
Mm-hmm.
continuous journey in
Yeah, we
that.
could throw new words in there, girl.
Right, that's what happens. But I just, when we think about it, like, surrender is an everyday walk.
Mm-hmm.
Healing is an everyday walk. Peace is an everyday walk. Because, like you said, it could be something come up. Like that car that cuts you off in traffic and you thinking like whatever, whatever. Right. Nikki, that part right there. He like, but wait, there's more. That's the peace. But that's the thing when it comes to surrender, understanding that there's always going to be more
Layers to peel
evolution,
back.
there's more growth that we have to do. It's like, okay, as long as we're continually learning who we are, when we think about, like, right now there's a trend going around comparison of what you were in 2016 versus 2026. If you go back and look, that person you were in 2016 isn't who you are today.
Mm.
There's growth, there's healing, there's been forgiveness, there's been, now your voice is being spoken, like all of the different things. And that's how our healing process is that every moment we take, it's a moment to, can I be better than who I was yesterday? And that's the thing about healing.
No, that's my favorite line. This asked you to be
That
better
part,
than you were
Tiffany.
yesterday.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's what should be that forefront. All right, I did this yesterday. Today I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. And it's just asking yourself to be better than you were yesterday is growth.
Mm-hmm.
And so we go back to the notes real quick. Probably should have started with this one. Ends internal struggle. All right. So what's that internal struggle? When we be up here fighting, when we be up here fighting ourselves with certain things. All right. So when I say internal struggle, right? Most people fight, they deal with fear.
Mm-hmm.
And in the surrender piece, that's the fear of the unknown because you don't know. But again, keeping your faith high, keeping God at who He is, you can let that go because you know that He has you covered, and He's not going to give you too much that you can't bear.
Right. I love what Daphne just said right here. So I want to
Go
bring
ahead,
it up
come on.
on here. He will give you peace when we keep our minds focused on Him and meditate in His word. Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
think we have to focus daily on our strength and weakness. That part right there, that's it. It is a step by step process, Daphne. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So going into just the reading, it helps stop the exhausting battle against uncontrollable forces, the past, others, choices, unchangeable situations, freeing energy for actual solutions.
And that's what we talked about, the resistance. I didn't see this. What Tiffany said, if we can, that's how we gauge if our hearts are healed. If the sting is still there, we know it's more work to do, and that's okay. That's the part we have to understand
And recognizing that.
and recognizing that. Be honest. Hey,
Yeah, you
beautiful.
gotta be honest with yourself
Yeah,
because God already knows the answer. But we try to play tricks on ourselves, like, nah, I'm healed. I'm all right. I'm good. I could be around that person, and you get in there and they throw your energy off.
yeah,
Then you ain't healed. It's still some process there, but it's nothing wrong with that.
right.
And that's what we have to get back to and say, okay, I thought I was healed, but I'm not completely healed. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me keep working.
I'm healed because now I can be in the same room and not punch him in his face, right?
Listen, listen. If at one
That's
point,
real for some
listen, I was about
people.
to say, if at one point that's how you felt, and you no longer feel that, it's still a little tension there, but you don't want to walk over and punch him in the face or punch her in the face. That's growth.
That is.
Give yourself that grace. You know what? Thank you, God, for allowing me to get past the point of not punching this dude in the face or this girl in the face. Thank you.
Yep.
Because that is growth. And that's the thing. We don't give ourselves that credit when we do have that little smidget of growth.
Yep.
Because we want it to be all the way at the end. Like, I'm done. I could be around this person. I could talk to this person. I could do this. Maybe that ain't never the plan for you to even get to the point of wanting to. God won't want you with that person if it's still going to be detrimental to you. So it may not be I need you to do business with this person. It may just be forgive this person that you could be around them for X amount of time. I'm keep leaning this way, and I feel like I'm
I'm
going
about
out.
to say
I'm
you
going
feel
away.
like you.
I'm going away from the thing. you know. But just
Yes, Daphne, let us be mindful that Yahweh is always in control and let's keep him at the wheel. Absolutely. Oh,
mm-hmm.
thank you. She said we beautiful.
Got my shirt on. Got yours on too. Get your
Look,
merch.
sis said I can look at Rick right now.
Get your
Listen.
merch. Feel like YouTubers out here. Get your merch, y'all. Get your
You
merch.
silly.
It's in the website. But no, that's not what this is. This is about that the healing, y'all. We just joke and play a lot on here, but a lot of times that's what we need. We need that laughter. Um We should be able to laugh at each other and laugh with each other. But let's go back to the notes because I skipped two key pieces when we went right into fostering inner peace and healing. It creates space for clarity. So it helps clear that brain, clear that mind, to where you can start letting some of them thoughts that you was like, yeah, I'm gonna punch you right in his neck as soon as I see him. Nah, for what? What that gonna do? What would it do?
Yeah.
I know what it might do. It might get you a case. It's something you don't want to deal with. So why go that route? You know what? You putting that negative energy into it. What will it do? And I know someone's gonna say, "Oh, it'll make me feel good," but it's gonna hurt them pockets. You might have to sit down for a minute. So you think it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. So I gotta move on. I gotta move on. And then it's at that point if you know what, I ain't even got there yet. I'm not gonna show up. I just want to show up. It ain't nothing wrong with not showing up to something when you know it might be some bad energy there.
Here's something when we were talking about what surrendering looks like. And I think sometimes the hardest thing is surrendering the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
12, Alicia Johnson talks about you can't put God on the clock.
Negative.
That
You better not.
we want the process to be short and sweet, right? But if the healing is going to take time, if the completely surrendering it is going to take time, we got to understand this. You got to give God equal time, is what Alicia will always say. And meaning your situation didn't just happen overnight. It was like a process of things. And so you got to give God that same equal amount of time
Yep.
to um help you get through that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so it's just understanding like, okay, when you surrendering and you got like, God, I got it. God, I just, can you just hurry? You can say that, but because you're being real, right? Like, God, can we just hurry this process up a little bit? But understanding if we rush God, right? Because He's going to give us the desires of our heart. We may not necessarily get His best if we rush the process because we like, well, we want to jump from 5 to 10, but we skip, we on 5, 6, and 7, and all of a sudden we skipping 8 and 9 because we getting to 10. He gonna take us there, but we didn't necessarily learn all of what we
Mm-hmm.
needed to because we skipped steps 8 and 9. So understanding like you're gonna have to go through the process no matter what. You may think, okay, I got it. My dream is fulfilled. But then another situation comes back around and he was like, oh,
Could lose it all right there.
not even lose it all, but just understand that, oh, well, now I'm not prepared for the situation because I kind of rushed the process before.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, I went a little drastic saying you could lose it all, but it could get to that point. Depending on how fast you rushed it. Because again, right? We gonna take it back because y'all know y'all love my metaphors. You put that bookshelf together and you wonder why it's leaning to the right a little bit because you skip 9 and 10. You skip 9 and 10, so your bookshelf leaning.
Yeah.
And so now you gotta put another bookshelf that's leaning, skip some more steps that's leaning the other way so they can lean on each other. So now y'all leaning on each other, and all it takes is for one of y'all to say one bad thing, and now guess what? Everything tumbling down. So that's why I was saying that you could lose it all, but it don't have to be that drastic. It don't have to be, but it could be that drastic. So don't skip any steps. Don't rush them. Don't rush them. We are all masterpieces that he created, and he ain't rushed not one of us. Not
That's a
one
good
of us.
point.
Not one of us. I know, babe. I be telling you. I be telling you. It ain't me talking, man. It's God. He just be talking through me, and and I thank him every day for allowing me to get another day to be able to I use my gift that he gave me. What you call it? The gift of what?
Gift the gab.
The gift of gab. And I and it's so funny because I wasn't that I feel like I was shy, but it was just me hope.
Shy
No, no,
will.
babe. Listen, like when I was younger,
Shy will.
I wouldn't do this type of things. I wouldn't be on here, you know. So I think he was just preparing me for now. You wasn't ready yet. He was still mixing all my ingredients in, and then he threw me in the oven. Was like, all right, go ahead and bake a little bit. And after I don't know what to call it, but he said, you done now. Go ahead and out there and feed the world, bro.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, but
That's
it's
the evolution of, and growth,
yeah,
right?
yes, yes.
I
And
get it.
and listen, I dropped off I dropped off some chips at my older brother's house, and then later on that evening, I had the same conversation with um with Alice that I had with Keita, and I said it's not a coincidence. And Keita and Mike, it's not a coincidence that what I say. I always say this to you, man. I don't understand how I became the voice of reason, and saying that to Alice, Keita and Mike brought that same thing up without me saying anything. Brought that up, and I said that's the power of growth and understanding what you are here for. Because everybody that's created has a purpose. Not, and then I'm not gonna say everybody. Everything that's created by God has a purpose. One thing needs the next thing, the next thing needs the next thing. It's all by design. And so I used to live on coincidences. It ain't a coincidence. It's all by design.
Hmm.
There's no way that that's a coincidence that I have this same conversation. Wasn't even at the same, and they weren't in the same vicinity, and we had the same conversation.
Vicinity.
What is it? Vicinity?
Vic-
I said fuck. Then I put that. I was a little special, little Spanish in me, little fuff. But no, no, no. We got you. Got some more bullets, mate.
No, so y'all always know, well, we try and get some kind of homework or a reflection question. So the question is, what is one thing that you've been holding on to that God has been asking you to release? I'm gonna say it again. What is one thing that you've been holding on to that God has been asking you to release? That's your homework, to sit and reflect on that and listen to what God gives you. That's your homework. Thanks, Tim.
we're gonna ask questions when we come back, and whoever feels comfortable enough to share.
So I do want to go back because I think when we were talking about surrender as giving up, I think sometimes um surrender could be looking as if we're weak.
Nah,
And I want people to understand that surrender has nothing to do with whether you're weak or not.
nope.
Surrender is releasing the need to control the situation. It's not saying you're weak, it's not saying you can't handle it, but it's understanding that you can't do it in your own strength. And that's when you have to lean on God to be able to tell you on how to work through and how to get through the situation. So I just want people to understand that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna touch on that too, cause that's that we were talking about that when it comes to going to get help, and you say, "Oh, that's weak." No, that takes a strong person to realize that I need more help than what I can do for myself.
Hmm.
So that's everybody's help is different. Some people may strictly just go straight to God and just ask Him for help. Some people may seek outside help with therapy, seek counseling, seek God always. Seek Him, talk to Him, because even if you can't talk to God about your therapist and see if He's right for you in that situation. Because again, I always say this, especially my black men, it's nothing wrong with us when we go seek help. You're not a weak man. You're not a weak person. You are a strong individual
Hmm.
that recognizes I can't do this on my own. I need some help. Whether that's seeking God more or going to get that therapy.
I think it's both.
I
Because
say
I
I
think,
had to say you got to do what works for you.
yeah,
You
because
know.
I think sometimes um we turn it over to God, but then I still think because the thoughts still come,
Hmm.
because You want to be able to talk it out with somebody. And sometimes, you have those friends that you can turn to, but you also know that sometimes your friends may have a bias,
Of course.
right? And so maybe they hold back a little bit because they like, okay, um I can't really I can't really tell her what she need to say because I'm not so sure she can handle it. But understand that as a therapist, it's kind of like they are able to walk you through the situation
Hmm.
without having the gloves on.
Yeah, without and
Like
not
they're
having no
going to
bias to you at all.
right, they're going to gently walk you through the process, but they may be able to come in and show you things that are in your blind spot and be able to say, like, I've said this before, when you're going through something, which friends you want to call. Okay, do you want to call so and so because she gonna let you have a pity party, or you gonna call so and so because she gonna speak truth to you? Like,
But that at that point, that's when you got to know yourself as well.
right,
Who am I gonna call? I
right,
need I need the person that's gonna give to me 1,000 right now.
right.
So pick that phone up. But then we play ourselves and be like, nah, you know what? I don't even want to hear it right now. I'm going to the pity party. But then
But
that's
I
when we make that mistake.
Right. But I think that's the sometimes when we know, like, okay, I need to call in reinforcements, that's when going to therapy becomes like, okay, this is the next step, because I really do need somebody that can help me like maneuver through this and navigate through this, as God is also helping you navigate. Like, God is going to navigate how he needs it, but that therapist is going to be the additional support that you can have. And I think we really need to start having a conversation on how therapy is a good thing.
Yeah. That's why I had this stop. I'm sorry that I just pointed out my men with this. But ladies seem to go to therapy faster than guys would because it's not masculine. That's like some of the stuff we would hear. I was having this conversation the other day with a couple of my men, and they were talking about we shouldn't cry. And I'm like, I don't know if I need y'all in my circle, Slim, because I cry all the time. So it is a time and place for it, but we can't run around here and tell little young men that they shouldn't cry. Nah, no, no, no. It's a time and place for it, but don't sit here and tell no little boy that he shouldn't cry because now he's gonna hold that in and build that in to where he ain't gonna never cry and then he gonna explode and we are frozen. But we back. Uh, um, but then it ain't no knock on nobody, man, because it's growth in this. I was that dude. Man, ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody crying, bro. Ain't nobody gonna see me cry. Now I cry on this joint right now. Let me see a picture of the kids when they was young. I might start crying right now. I'm trying to tell you. But it's nothing wrong with that. It is a time and place for everything. It's a time and place for this. But we gotta get out that stigma that men shouldn't cry and all these things and keep telling these young men that they can't cry, they shouldn't have emotions. Now
Right.
we just gotta learn how to control these. And I don't even know if it's a control thing. Because again, it goes back to where it's at. Hold on, let me find it. Here it goes. By letting go of the futile need to control outcomes. So should we control our emotions or should we I don't want to say mask them because then that's like hiding it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get back to you on what word I'm thinking of instead of controlling your emotions, because again, that's kind of control an outcome or something. But I guess in a certain sense, we should control our emotions so that way we don't explode. you know. But let's go back.
But I also think sometimes we do need to explode, because if we hold it in all the time, that's not healthy either.
Okay, and so when
Now, when we say explode, I'm not
I'm
saying
I'm saying explode in a negative way.
okay, okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so I'll say this: when we have those feelings, stop leaving everything bottled up.
Yeah, talk to somebody.
Talk to somebody, journal if you have to, dance if you have to, pray, sing, dance, do whatever you need to. Because when we can release the emotion, name the feeling of what we're not even name the feeling, but just express or talk about what we're going through, it's like the I don't want to say the burden gets easier because like, oh, now I know, like now I'm naming what I'm feeling,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so therapy helps with that. But I want to go back what you just said, but then also tying it into what Daphne was saying, that for me, surrendering is learning to trust God and understanding that the burden, the heaviness was never mine to carry.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how I have to think about surrender. Whenever something feels heavy, when the situation is heavy, I gotta understand, okay, I gotta let it go. I gotta surrender it. And I mean, because I know now that there's nothing that I can do
Right. Watch this.
to let it go.
What did he do? He sent his only son to die for our sins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I'd send my only son for anybody. I only got one.
You
So
never know, man.
not I'm just saying that, baby, because we gotta give it to him. If he can send his only son to die for our sins, why we can't get it to him?
Well, but I think, when we talk about that, that's probably another topic, because I think with parenting, right, we want to guide our children, but if God is like, I need you to let go,
Yeah, because they're not our kids in
because
the first
they're
place.
not, and that's the thing we have to understand. It's like,
We
so I
borrowing
think
them.
that's another topic. We're not
Yeah,
going to
yeah, yeah, yeah. We
script
got
that
we
tonight. That's a
right.
whole nother topic. Because
It
y'all
is.
already know that's a
It
whole
is.
different ball
We done
game.
jumped off the boat again and swam back on the boat and without no life rafts.
That's
So
the unscripted part of this show,
yeah,
y'all.
yeah. So we got our topic potentially for next week. I may not be able to get on, y'all. I have some work related things. I'm not sure. I hopefully I can get out in time. Um, but yeah, so that may be what's up.
We'll see.
We gonna
We'll
see.
see.
We gonna see.
So y'all homework for night. This has been a really good conversation. Thank y'all for joining us. So the homework again, what is one thing that you've been holding on to that God has been asking you to release? What is one thing you've been holding on to that God has been asking you to release? Figure that out and then go to God and say, God, I completely and totally surrender this to you
On your time.
on your
On
time.
your time.
Yeah.
Because again, you can't. No, no, no. It ain't even on your time. On God's time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
on
God,
God's time. On God's
I'm
time.
releasing
Because I
this to
said on
you
your
now.
time, but on God's time.
Yeah.
Because it may not be time yet
Time, yeah, for what?
to release whatever it is that if He's asking you, then it's that time. But if He ain't asked you yet, don't
But
do it
if
on
it's
your time.
consuming you, why wouldn't you release it?
On His time.
Okay.
On His time.
Okay. Good night, y'all. Thank you for joining us on the Unscripted Beautiful Life on the Truth of Surrender. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
See